CFL Week 9, it's the betting blueprint. Andrew, Terry, and Bobby with you guys. Hope you all had a winning week. Well, let's do it again. If so, and guys, I'll tell you what, last week, I'll start off the recap for myself. It was a slight losing week. We started the week off by losing leg one of the two-team parlay. It was supposed to be easy. Riders Argos. It was supposed to be an easy win. It's never easy. We could get into it. We can do a whole podcast about the fourth quarter of that Riders game. Absolute cluster, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, as far as that goes. So we do lose the parlay. We come back, win a 5% ticket on Calgary, and then we do lose a 5% on the over in Hamilton, Montreal. Montreal, well, I mean, they were sleepwalking through the game, and they still end up covering. But Hamilton did not pull their weight to get the over. So slight losing week for me. If my losing weeks aren't going to be that bad, then I'll take it and we'll try and move forward. Kind of pissed off though, guys. I didn't end up getting involved in Toronto whatsoever. But after I lost that two-teamer, I decided to lay off. And I think first half, full game, first quarter, whatever it is you would have wanted on that game, would have been pretty damn easy to capitalize on Toronto. We'll see what you guys think here. 4 games in 4 days. We've got Lions, Bombers, Alouettes, Red Blacks, Stampeders, Ticats, and we've got some revenge going on this week as the Riders will visit Edmonton to take on the Elks. Bobby Dubeau, Mr. Surrey Jack on X. How was your week 8?
Same as yours, losing week, but it was okay. Like the winners are rocking chair winner, like with the Argos. And then you have these bad beats, which people claim everything's a bad beat, but no, Hamilton loses because what you got. I was thinking if this was the NFL, you'd see a guy take a knee on the one, like he'd get the first down, take a knee, game over, but it's hard to get these guys to turn down a touchdown instead of ending the game. So, an ugly backdoor cover also had a little bit to do with Trey Ford becoming Trey Ford in the last couple minutes of the game. But that's why we only bet half units on Trey Ford. Saskatchewan loses because the head coach turns his brain off at the worst times. But also, let's not take anything away from our boy Cody Fajardo. Proved us wrong, and maybe it was some reverse psychology, since he relies on the haters whether they exist or not. Word must have got back to him that his own fan club was against him, and again, like Saskatchewan gifted that game to them, but I don't think he cares. These are pro athletes for the most part, except for Sean Lemon. They just care about wins and losses.
Well, look, Bobby, I try and defend this league as much as I possibly can. I look forward to doing this show with you guys every week, watching the games I bet on, writing articles starting this week. But when you got a quarterback being talked as highly as he is, that is about to go down and be sacked, throws the ball away for a fumble, other team picks the ball up, gets it, goes to the end zone, gets a catch, gets called back for offensive pass interference. You send the kicker out, and the kicker shanks a 25-yard kick. I mean, that's what we're trying to avoid here, guys. Those are the 1 minute lowlights that you want to get rid of here if we're trying to grow this game. But as Bobby would tell you, maybe the missed field goal ended up being a good thing. But Alex Hale, not a great week for him. Terry, I hope you were able to capitalize on the Argos as Bobby did. Unfortunately, I sat out. How did your week 8 go?
Week 8 was not too good. All three of us had a losing week. Mine was a little bit bigger than your guys' losing week, though. And unfortunately, Chad Kelly got hurt. I had his passing yards and also lost a couple other props on the week. The highlight of the week was the over in the Calgary game. Shocker. Another Calgary game goes over the total 52 to 30. So just an insane over there. So that was the highlight of the week, but didn't really love last week. I really like this week. There's 2 props that I really, really like here on this week's slate. So still deciding what percentages they're going to be, but there's 2 props that I'm giving out here on the show for free that are probably going to be at least one of them is going to be a 4% at least. So, and I'm going to give them for free on this show.
All right. Well, let's not waste any time, guys. We'll dive into week 9. Again, guys, all of these graphics that we have for you today are odds provided by one book and one book only. But of course, we have no affiliation with any book, so we will mention, other spots, other numbers you guys can get and that are available. We record this late Tuesday afternoon Eastern. We usually try and record 3:30 Eastern time. So that's your reference point for the odds you're about to see. Okay, let's start things off. Bobby, you did mention you have a play before we started the show on this game. I know Terry's got something for us in it as well, but why don't you start things off for us, Bobby? We've got BC and we have Winnipeg head-to-head on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I can see when this line was posted here. Like, I think it opened at 5.5. This thing's juiced all the way to, it's moved all the way to 7, I would say now. Open at 5.5. I don't get it. You had 5 minutes of garbage time from Caden Slater. I don't know Elgersma's first name, but I do know Caden Slater. So is that enough to be influencing the line, though? This garbage time against the Argos, a Toronto Argos defense that made Trey Ford look average, made Drew Brown look like a star. He went 25 for 31. VA throws 6 touchdowns on this team, scores almost 60 points. Caden Slater goes 9 for 15 in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter with a few brutal throws. One of them should have been a definite interception. And for some reason, like, this isn't the biggest line of the year. This line here, 6 is what it says on the screen. That means that if Nathan Rourke was quarterback, the Lions would be favored here in Winnipeg. This is the same Lions team that only a few weeks ago lots of people were saying was the worst team in the league. That was with a healthy Nathan Rourke. I've downgraded the Bombers. I've been too high on the Bombers this year. They are a below average team. I've downgraded Drew Brown after a little bit after last week. Still can't justify this line being this low. I think we could be buying the dip on Drew Brown here. And even better, we're fading a third string quarterback in the league, which you could argue has the worst backup quarterbacks in the world. So I think this should be close to double digits. Happy to get it under a touchdown. Winnipeg, not as bad as people think. Drew Brown can't be that bad every week, you'd think. So I'm on the Bombers here, 6, 7. I like it up even. I wouldn't go with the hook, but anything 7 or less on the Bombers, I'd take that right now.
Yeah, some storylines coming into this one, right? Like, if we've got, you use the expression buying the dip on Drew Brown coming off his worst game of the year. Then you've got the tough backup for the Lions. You got the Bombers laying a number here, Terry. It's an interesting one. Before I throw it to you, I'll mention this. Lean towards the under for me, actually. And, it's hard to argue taking any unders when it comes to non-QB1s starting in this league at this point. I mean, if you had BC team total under, you made some money last week. If you had unders in any quarterback first game of the year or first career start this season, you've been able to make money. And as we all know, the overs have been king still this year, but I think that could be a look for us. I think for what I would do is probably, if I was playing Winnipeg here, I think, again, there's no chance of a backdoor cover, but I'd probably play first half just because I think that we have seen these teams that come out with these rookie quarterbacks or young guys just come out so stagnant, so hesitant. Like, I think Winnipeg could really come out strong. And is it just me, guys, or does it feel like Winnipeg's played every game at home this year? I mean, there's got to be some road games coming up. Everyone I talk to says they're one of the better home fields, so that has to play a difference in the first half. So that under, it's the lowest total on the board, guys. Every other game besides this one is at 60.5. Sometimes those totals are low, the lowest for a reason. Terry, it could be a good player props game. Anything that sticks out to you here for you?
Yeah, I'm really interested in this game. So, like Bobby said, we have a third string quarterback coming in here to start this game for BC. But if you look what he did last week, now it was against the Toronto defense and it was in garbage time, but he had a really strong ending to that game, which is likely why he's going to get the start here. So 9 for 15 for 121 yards on the night. Chase Bryce went 14 for 25 for 163, playing a lot less of the minutes, or a lot more of the minutes, sorry. So then you have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers coming off a game. They're going to want to bounce back after last week, coming off an embarrassing loss. So in their last game. So when I look at this one here, 52-30 loss at home in their last game. So they're going to want to bounce back for sure this week. When I look at it, I like the new quarterback, the rookie quarterback. Now, I know it was in garbage time, but seeing his passing yards probably 243.5, Caden Salter. And I feel like if BC is competitive in this game, he's likely going to hit that prop. If BC isn't competitive in this game, or if they're losing, he's going to have to chuck the ball down the field. And he showed that he could do it in garbage time last week. So I think that total 243.5 is a little bit low. I think whether you like Winnipeg, whether you like BC, I think 243.5 is a little bit low. I think he's going to have somewhat of a productive game in his first start. We'll see if he can upset the Blue Bombers, or if keep it close at least.
And I think, like, when you look at this game, it's like going to be one of those ones where I feel like you're going to know right off the get-go what you're getting yourself into. But again, I don't know. I haven't made my mind up on the spread, to be honest with you, but I think that this is going to be one of those things where I think keeping things simple is probably going to be a move. Drew Brown coming off a tough one. Obviously, a fresh young face for BC. Hopefully simple. It's why I kind of like towards the under. Any thoughts from you guys about the Brady Oliveira stuff? We were kind of talking about it with our guy Ian Cameron, but I saw an article today with 3 Down, like talking about Oliveira not getting along with the OC, or the OC not regretting any decisions. Why does this guy not like running the ball?
He just never has. The same thing in Hamilton with James Butler, right? So to be fair, nobody's ever like running the ball when Oliveira's been there. That's why they got rid of the last OC, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, didn't he win MOP a few years ago? Like, didn't he? I don't know. Kind of confuses me, Terry.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I totally forgot to mention that. I want to know what his rushing yards prop is going to be, because right now it's not listed. They only have James Butler at the few books that I looked at. So his rushing yards prop isn't available. You got to think, with the fact that it's coming out in the media, all this stuff, you think that he's probably going to try to get Oliveira the ball more this week, you would think. But they're facing the BC Lions rush defense that's only giving up 59 rushing yards per game, almost 30 some odd yards lower than the next closest team. So even if they do try to get him to run the ball more, I don't think this is going to be the best spot against BC. So if anything, I'm looking at Oliveira under rushing yards, but I have no idea what the line is, so I can't suggest taking it without knowing what the line's going to be. So
well, that's just the thing, right? He wants more carries, and now they're playing the number 1 rushing defense in the league for the last 2 seasons. So, all right, on to the next with Alouettes and Red Blacks. If you want trends, it's only a 9-team league, but this is a dominant trend. I mean, Alouettes have owned this Red Blacks team, 10-2 ATS last 12 meetings. They've put up points on them. They've blown them out in the first half, full game, at home, on the road, on the moon, on Mars, wherever that's been. They've owned the Ottawa Red Blacks. The fact is, though, guys, we always talk about how there's early openers, then there's the real openers, then it settles down throughout the week. The fact is, we saw 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7. Let's see, 7.5. There are some 6.5s as well. It's about a split, 6.5 and 7 here. The question is, it's not are the Alouettes going to win? It's about, are they going to win by margin? Now, the fact of the matter is, it's kind of like back-to-back bye weeks for them, because they're playing Trey Ford and then the Red Blacks. And yes, disrespect kind of intended there, because you look at it, this Alouettes team finds a way to get the job done, right? That's what this Alouettes team does. This year, they're not known for these massive blowouts. They just get the job done. So I'll tell you what, like, I hope this number gets pushed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this could be an ugly dog that I end up on here, guys. I could be tempted by this one. And you look at it, and the only question you ask yourselves is, do you play the first half or do you play the full game? And a big thing is that these dogs are almost getting tired because the defenses are on the field so much. And that's the only worry I have. Like, you look at Hamilton, like, I almost feel like they're deep, like that was just a disgusting bad beat, but like, sometimes these backdoor covers are happening because the defense is so exhausted. They have a good first half and then they just get tired in the second half. But Alouettes could win this one and not cover. And Red Blacks, their offense has gotten better. They've got an unbelievable punt returner, which special teams has become so huge in this league. If you can gain some yardage, help your team out that way. It seems like one of those weeks where you could draw together that money line parlay, but you also could get some of these, barking dogs to cash for you as well, Terry. So Montreal, they seem like the kind of team right now. It's just like the Bill Belichick do your job type of thing. Moss was not happy about last week's game, and they still won by double digits.
Yeah, it was their biggest margin of victory, I think, on the season. Yeah. Davis Alexander was saying that.
And probably a bad effort, too.
Yeah, so what does that say? But now these two teams are facing off again. And like you said, Andrew, the Alouettes have owned the Red Blacks. But you said 10-2 against the spread. One of those losses was the meeting they played earlier this year. It was a 37-35 win for the Alouettes at home. So Ottawa was right in that game. CFL overs in that game, of course. Now, when I look at this one here, I want the Alouettes and I want the Stampeders both on the money line as a parlay, but it's looking around minus 130 right now, which for me, I like to be around minus 120, minus 125 is really my cutoff point for the most part. So it's minus 130 right now. I don't want to release it to clients because I feel like it's going to be minus 140, minus 150, possibly come game time. So I do like the Alouettes to win this game. -7 is a lot of points. Now, they didn't cover last time. I think they're going to have a stronger game here. The Red Blacks are in trouble. They just continue to struggle, and I don't see them having any success here in this game. For me here in this one, this is my favorite game of the week. I've got two player props here, both on the same player. He was one of the stars of the week last week, Travis Thice. I'm taking him both to score a touchdown, which he's done in 5 consecutive games, and also looking at his rushing yards prop, which I'm seeing at 60.5. Also seeing 68.5, so a little bit of a difference there. I'm looking at his rushing yards prop. I want to see how that moves over the next couple of days, but likely going to be a 3 or 4% play for me on that. He has at least 91 rushing yards in 4 of his last 5 games, and the last 3 weeks he's only gone better. 93, 123, and 156 rushing yards last week. They want to keep Davis Alexander healthy, and you have a running back that is tearing it up right now on the ground. Probably going to give him the ball. Less chance of Alexander getting hurt, especially against the worst team in the CFL. Also, the team that allows the most rushing yards against in the CFL. So give me Travis Thice rushing yards. As I said, 5 touchdowns in a row, 5 weeks in a row. I'm seeing that plus 115 for his touchdown prop at DK. So I'm looking at that. And then what was the last thing I was going to say here? I can't remember now. Can't remember what I was going to say, but
Travis Thice, okay. He's been great. He's been good, and I'll tell you what, he's been consistent as well. Almost as consistent as Bobby's Tommy Stevens, but that guy, I mean,
who?
I don't know if he's the same type of guy though. That Tice is a wrecking ball though. He makes it look incredibly easy. That's for sure.
Now, the one game he didn't cash in his last 5 games was against Ottawa, but they split the ball, and the other running back got the ball a lot in that game. But since then, Thice has taken over. So, you guys, don't you think it's true? Like, if you want to keep Davis Alexander healthy, and you've got this running back that's running the ball so well, give him the ball. So,
when they pass the 30-yard line, they're just going to run it. Like they'll throw deep balls and when they can, but they're just going to having a reliable run game is big for them. Bobby, do you agree with me? It's kind of one of those weeks for it feels like a chalky money line week, but also it could be a barking dogs type of week.
Yeah, and nobody hates betting the Red Blacks more than we do. But to go back to that BC game, a lot of people, we didn't mention it, but a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a short week for BC. But for Montreal, it's actually a short week. They only got one practice. Red Blacks coming in off a bye. They're playing some like semi-competitive pro football in the past few weeks. Their last matchup against the Alouettes, like that, I said it after the game, like that was their Super Bowl. They were getting praise being down 10 in the fourth quarter. People were really impressed that they weren't getting blown out against the Owls. So I think they're building themselves up for these Alouettes games to prove that they can hang a bit. Nothing yet for me. I will wait for this line to move. Some people that we know and I respect are pumping this line up, grabbing these low openers. I placed my $6 max bet on Bet99. That's all they'll let me bet. But I'll wait for this number to get bigger at some more legitimate books. And it's probably Red Blacks. And I don't know if we're going to be doing half unit anymore because Bob Dice isn't there. It's more predictable game. Dinwiddie always has his occasional brain farts on short yardage. But still, that's par for the course in the CFL for head coaches, as we'll get into a bit later for the last game. But yeah, I think it's Red Blacks or nothing here.
Red Blacks are nothing. The thing is that we didn't want to be saying at the start of the season, and here we are as far as that's concerned. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day is like teams want to win, but I think sometimes it's also just about like how you lose. As crazy as that sounds. And I feel like that same thing could be said for the next game we're going to talk about as well, which is Calgary and Hamilton. Guys, I'm going to say this. I mean, excuse me, Terry, you mentioned the fact that every Stampeders game is going over. And I mean, it's just so true. Like, I don't like to do side and total on the same game. It's just, but in your head, you kind of do know what you're thinking a correlated is. I had a 5% play on Stamps last week. I just thought, look at this quarterback matchup. Like, I'll take this matchup. I think VA has been the most underappreciated player in the league this year. And of course, it took like 7 weeks for people to all realize across social media he hasn't thrown an interception yet. It's like when they realize a player's on the injury report on the day of the game when they put a graphic out to tell us about it. You know, VA has been great, but they have one of the best offenses, but one of the worst defenses. So that's kind of where I look at it is like, okay, you know, is this a time where this Ticats team could put some points up on the board? But if I think the Ticats can put some points on the board, do we just take the over? It's an interesting number here as far as this game is concerned. I do think that this Stampeders team, I've been saying this for 2 years now, they are a role-based team as far as point spread is concerned. I don't like them in this role, guys. I like them when they're getting or they're being asked to win, not when they're laying in general here. But what do you guys think? I mean, am I crazy to think that even after Trey Ford single-handedly didn't win my over for me, or maybe he kind of helped it get closer, being honest with that interception, but this isn't necessarily the role that I want the Stamps in here, guys.
Who are you going to?
Oh, Terry, whoever's turn it is. Whoever's turn it is. Doesn't matter to me. Terry?
Well,
go ahead, Terry.
Terry was on mute, so I never know if I can go to you or not because you're on mute. So
yeah, hey, either or, just choose. But no, yeah, so looking here, I've been riding the overs with the Calgary Stampeders pretty much week after week after week because, like you said, Andrew, they have the best offense and they have the worst defense in the CFL. So that's a dream for over bettors. But this Ticats team, they've been an under team, and I don't trust them. They have a running back at quarterback. Now, I know he had one good game against Toronto. I'm not jumping on the Trey Ford fan club, that's for sure, anytime soon. But this is the worst defense in the CFL. So if he can't produce against the Stampeders, well, then who is he going to produce against? So I haven't decided where I'm going. Again, I like the Stampeders to win. I think the money line is a good parlay piece if you want to parlay it with something. I would like to get more into team totals in the CFL, but they're not available at all books. It's only very few books have CFL team totals, so it's really tough to back them. But if you do have a book that has a CFL team total, I would look towards the Stamps team total over. I think they're going to produce offensively. I think they win this game, but at 5.5, I'm not sure if like I said, if Trey Ford can't produce here against the Stampeders, who will he produce against? And I could see him having a good game on the ground. Rushing yards prop not available right now. So at this moment, this game is a pass for me. The one prop I would be looking at, though, is Dedrick Mills' touchdown. He has won 4 of his last 7 games. I think I saw it for around plus money. Has one in his last game. So I would look at that. But right now, nothing for me here.
Well, Bobby, you did say that Drew Brown coming off one of his worst outings, and obviously it was his 3rd consecutive start for the Bombers, so that was a tough one for him against the Stamps. I mean, like I said, there was a big play for me. I went 1-1 with the big plays, but I just looked at VA versus Drew Brown. I picked VA, you know. But in this scenario now, they're not being asked to win; they're being asked to win by a certain number. And you know, again, like if we can see Trey Ford kind of like put some drives together and just keep it simple, this Calgary defense does give up points. And, you know, there were a couple plays. I will say, if we're going to be hard on people, we have to be hard on everybody equally. Like Drew Brown didn't play well at all last week. For me as a Calgary backer, I can pat myself on the back, but Drew Brown definitely made it a bit easy on me in the 4th quarter when he kind of gave the game back away after it got a little bit sweaty. So how do you look at this one, Bobby? Are you interested in another dog here, or is it a rare total from you, or what do you think?
All right. So Hamilton went into Montreal. They were a coin flip to win against the best team in the league with 3 minutes to go. And you can't say that wasn't a dirty cover by the Alouettes. I don't think that line should have been as high as it was. It was 10.5, something like that. So if you just deconstruct that out, reverse the home field for Montreal, add a tiny bit of home field for Hamilton. Sentiment on the Stamps is at an all-time high. Like you said, people finally noticed VA has thrown 0 interceptions. They noticed Davis Alexander thrown like 8 without an interception, 8 touchdowns without an interception. VA's at 20. So I don't know if you can hear these dogs barking out here, but Trey Ford hasn't been that bad against Calgary in the past. He's not going to be getting any worse in Scott Milanovich's system. I think this number should be closer to 3. So I'm on the Ticats. It's a half unit. Like I said, Trey Ford half unit rule, just like when you're betting on Bob Dice. And I hate saying it out loud. I'm on the Ticats, but the ones you hate saying out loud are the sweetest wins when they come through.
That is exactly true. That is 100% accurate. And I think that, again, it's all about certain roles. That's how I look at it. And I think that this Calgary team, they do well in a certain position, but now you're being asked to, hey, not just put on a show, guys, not just give us the most exciting game of the week, not just win by a field goal, but win by a handful as well. Total wise, it does intrigue me, Terry, because obviously we know every game is like not just going over, it's easily going over with the Stamps. But I think that, like, remember last year, like if there was one thing we're going to make fun of for the Ticats, it was their defense. Got to give their defense some credit. As I mentioned earlier, I think that like their defense is getting tired maybe throughout the game because they are being asked to be out there quite a bit. But if you look at the numbers, like pure analytically, their defense has actually been pretty good this year.
Yeah, they've been good. Allowing the the second fewest points per game on the season. But they're scoring the least amount of points per game. So. And then
the opposite of Calgary. The opposite of Calgary, pretty much.
Exactly. And that's why, I've been riding the overs with Calgary, but 60.5 with Hamilton is scary. It is. It's scary. So I don't know what I'm doing with that game when it comes to the total. So I could see it going either way.
All right, guys, if you are enjoying these videos throughout the week, I know college football is almost here. NFL is almost here. Hit the like button. Show us some love. We've all made some money so far, the 3 of us, throughout the CFL season. And I won't speak for you guys, but I think that we can all agree on one thing. The books, if they don't care much about the CFL now, you guys just wait until everything else gets going. Like September, I think, should be everybody's best time to bet the CFL. Because this is when you're going to be able to get the odds makers, kind of, focus on other stuff, focused on college football, focused on NFL, focused on practically anything but the Canadian Football League that does not get enough driven volume that it really matters to them too much. So make sure you guys are continuing to tune in as the other sports go on, and hit the like button to show us some love here on the channel. Last game here, guys. Some rapid revenge going on. We always say must win does not mean will win. Rapid revenge does not always mean that the team looking for revenge will get it. But I got to say, guys, I mean, if we're selling stocks or if we're buying stocks, it sounds like, again, I keep saying this, but if you like the Elks all year long, hopefully you've made some money on them, because the spots now to get them as a dog or to get them as plus prices, like, they are now being respected, similar to what we were just saying about VA. VA now is getting respect he deserves. He's been having a good year all year. Last week in Saskatchewan, plus 4.5, plus 5.5, now laying 1.5, or pick 'em, whatever you want to say, really, is the number here. Curious what you guys think. Total at 60.5. I'll just tell you guys this. I'm going to be on some AJ Ouellette numbers here. I think we're going to see some rushing game from the Saskatchewan team. We're going to see precision. I think we're going to see a good coached game, well-coached game, and keep this Elks team off the field. Don't let Cody Fajardo throw a fumble / interception that ends up working out for him in some way, shape, or form. But, like, Bobby, when you look at revenge here, do you think that this is one of those times where you actually look towards the team that's looking for revenge?
Like, I still think Saskatchewan's the better team here. A lot went wrong for the Riders to not cover that spread. First off, like you mentioned, AJ Ouellette, I don't even know if he's going to be playing this week, because they had to go to Bertrand Houdon about halfway through that game. You mentioned the TD that was taken away from them on that pass interference call at the end of the game there. You mentioned Tommy Stevens, who Corey Mace, the head coach, has apparently forgot exists after all that province was talking about for 2 weeks was, could Tommy Stevens win a game on his own? You have 2 chances to get 3 yards, and you put Trevor Harris out, and it's wrong because Glenn Suter's agreeing with it, saying, oh, short yardage, you got to have Trevor Harris. Ridiculous stuff. Trevor Harris also threw a duck to a wide open receiver in the end zone there. So many opportunities for this game to have never been close in the final few minutes here. There's no reason I don't think the Elks should be laying points here, at least not more than the 1.5 that you have right now. So I think I think this line is kind of close to where it is, but I still think this should be Saskatchewan. If this moves any more in the Elks' favor, people want to back the Elks, go ahead. I'm going to be going right against them as soon as they do. So right now, it feels a lot better to say it's Riders or nothing than Red Blacks or nothing. But it's nothing for now until this line gets any higher on the Riders, then I'm going to have to take it.
Yeah, it just feels to me like it depends who you talk to, I guess, or which group of people you're talking to. But it just feels to me, some people will say the public are going to be on the defending champs getting revenge. And some people will say the public's going to be on the team that's stock is at an all-time high. All I know is that I don't have Edmonton number 1 in my power rankings, guys. And a lot of people seem to. So I'll put it there. And I'll take it a step further and say it's not a lock that Saskatchewan's 3. I'll take it that far. I mean, people think that it's 100% 1-2 Edmonton. I think it's 100%, I think, Montreal number 1. What has Montreal done to be downgraded to 2 by people? Just my thoughts. But just because Edmonton's having a good year doesn't mean they're all of a sudden the number 1 power rated team in the league. Just where I sit. So Terry, what do you think about that? Am I far off? Are we on the same page at all here?
Yeah, well, like Bobby said last week, a lot of the Elks wins were like against Ottawa, and I think a third string or backup quarterback that one week as well. So yeah, Edmonton has had good positions, or they've had some good luck so far in the season. Now, I'm not going to say that they are 6-1 because of just because of luck. Obviously, they have played well. This one is tough because you're gonna maybe not believe me, but heading into last week, I was looking at Cody Fajardo passing yards heading into that game. Fajardo's really started to pass the ball a lot, but facing the best pass defense in the CFL so far this year, I thought Fajardo's not going to run the ball. Fajardo's not going to pass the ball. He's not going to hit his passing yards this week. And what does he go and do? 510 passing yards. So now, same team next week, and I still kind of want to take the over on his passing yards, but I don't think I can get there just because if he was facing a different team, I would likely be taking his passing yards. But because it's the same team, they're going to want to stop him. They just gave up over 500 yards through the air against him last week. You got to think that they're going to try to shut him down in the air, which is going to leave Rankin open on the ground. So I want to take both quarterback passing yards, but I don't know if it's the right spot. So at this moment in time, I'm passing. I think this is one of the hardest games of the week, in my opinion.
Going to be probably the most highly anticipated one, and it's the main event of Week 9. Not the main event in downtown Sydney where Bobby is, but it's the main event of CFL Week 9. Probably only 2 people will understand that joke, but maybe 3. Guys, hope you enjoy the show. Hope you guys can make some money in Week 9. We'll go around the horn for closing thoughts. Terry, this time we'll start with you. Anything you want to mention before we pop out of this show?
Still have the same special, buy 3 days, get 3 days free, but we're getting towards the end of the month, which is usually when the new special deals come out. So make sure to check out picksandparlays.net for any specials I have and CFL premium plays. And like I said, my favorite play of the week is Travis Theis. I think he's going to have a big game on the ground. So watch out for him for the Montreal Alouettes.
Make sure you guys follow along with Terry over at Picks and Parlays at TE Picks, and make sure you get those prop plays. He's been crushing it as always, and MLB as well. Don't sell your MLB short too there, Terry. You put a ton of work in, so make sure you guys check him out. Bobby, anything new with you? Any picks that people can find out already at your Twitter, or anything you want to mention? Did you do a recap this week? The recap that nobody wants. Did you do one of those?
No, I actually didn't, because it was mostly just going to talk about how ridiculous it was to not have Tommy Stevens in that game on the 3 yards to go. So I didn't do it because people are starting to figure it out themselves. I've even noticed some play-by-play guys are noticing, hey, maybe field goals aren't great. So I'll do it when I need to. But as soon as I hear somebody like Sheldon Jones talk about how ridiculous it was not having Stevens in there, there's no need for this. So no recap, lots of ridiculous stuff, but people are starting to pick up on it.
Well, me and you have never been in person to watch a game together. I'm hoping we're going to be able to figure that out for the Grey Cup together, and should be lots of laughs and some good times in a few months for that. Guys, of course, NFL season is going to be here in a little while, so I do have this deal going right now. CFL plus NFL player props. Most of my plays for the NFL are player props. 24 units through the CFL season so far through 8 weeks, plus 17 units last year with NFL player props. A lot of those being just 1 and 2 unit plays. Original 49, now $3.99. Sign up at wt.buzz /AM. We're going to pay for the NFL player prop package with the rest of the CFL picks, guys. We'll keep on crushing it in CFL. Once the CFL ends after the Grey Cup, we'll have all of the NFL player props the rest of the season. That will do it for the show. Terry, Bobby, I'm Andrew. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.